Good morning. It is day 164. I'm back in Las Vegas. Yesterday, I had 24,099 steps. Just 99 steps over the goal. Lots to unpack from yesterday, so let's get right into it. First off, thank you to my wife for picking me up from the airport yesterday. It's always nice to see your wife. The first thing, getting out of the airport, not hopping into a random Uber. I might be a little bit dirty. And with a stranger that you just don't know. While I love strangers, there's nothing greater than seeing the person you signed up for the rest of your life with, first and foremost, to bring you home and celebrate that you're back. So, because my wife picked me up, I was able to go to my favorite store, REI, and buy something for myself, which was a new pair of shoes, and I think it's called a Buff. It's like a neck warmer, but it's got a bunch of different configurations, so it can cover my nose, my ears, my whole face. This could be like a ski mask if I cut some holes in it. Well, I'm not going to do that, but it's just another tool that I have in my arsenal to help me stick with this through the colder weather. Polar opposite here, weather-wise. Yesterday it was 66 degrees in the morning in Dallas, and I believe it's low 40s, like 41, 42 here in Vegas right now. I'm so happy to be back. I think I was just a bit on edge about all of the different things going on at the event I just worked. And it's nice to get home and just decompress and feel comfortable. Breathe for a little bit. I have an appreciation for people that are on one or the other side of conflict. And there's going to be people testing the other group constantly. I got tested last week quite a few times, but this walking and reflecting has brought out a different version of me that is much more patient and willing to just wait things out, not respond so quickly, and take the time to think about and craft what I'm going to say. So that crazy situation doesn't just get the best of me. So let's talk about why I'm just over my step count for yesterday by 99 steps. Yesterday I showed you some nice views of downtown Dallas. If you didn't get to check that out, it's on my day number 163 video. Lots of lights. There was a nice foggy mist that was not quite, where I was walking, but it was high enough to kind of mask the buildings a bit and have the neon lights that adorn the buildings kind of shine through. So it's like the sky was glowing with different colors. It was really cool. But yesterday, it started at 7 and the end time was 10 a.m. So a very short day. I got things set up and sat down. Maybe one person came to the registration desk all day. And while I worked with Emily and Jody from the event every single day, and they were extremely kind the whole event, we didn't really get to talk until the last day. And in this short 2.5 hours, we unpacked some of the deepest stuff ever. Like, you never think that you're gonna meet somebody that is a complete stranger at the beginning of the week and then be exchanging information to hang out later and talk later at a future time because of the connection that you were able to make in just a couple of hours. The majority of this talk was about this YouTube channel, why I'm doing what I'm doing, the walking, the sobriety, the carnivore diet, the talking to myself for now anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour each morning, and just reflecting on the different experiences that brought me to this point. This doesn't all happen overnight, and each of the experiences that brought me to this point and each of the new disciplines that I set up, I didn't put them all into play all at one time, and it wasn't even by design. Once you get fed up with one thing, and you say, you know what, this area could use improvement as well. And if that keeps happening over and over again, you develop all of these new disciplines that all end up meshing together and just making you like a superhero. I find power in the fact that none of us, no two of us are the same. Even identical twins have their different styles, their different fingerprints, and that's something that no human being has the same thing of. It's not like a social security number. If you're here from the States, your fingerprints are unique. Your DNA is unique. While there may be traits that are similar to someone else, no two people are exactly the same. God made us creative. While we may think the same, we're going to convey our message completely differently, and that's by design. I'm finding power in that. One of my favorite stories is about a man who's walking through the desert, and he's got something extremely valuable with him. And throughout that story, he faces people that want to take that thing from him because there's someone else that realizes how valuable what he has is, and they don't want that message to get out there. This movie was from quite a few years ago, and all of the things that I am exposed to in my life, I take little pieces and apply it to my life. I feel like this is one of the many reasons why I walk so much. But he's walking through the desert, through different towns, running into different people and challenges, and pushing on because this message is so important for everyone. And he's empowered by God to make this happen. I had to watch this movie a few times to really, really understand what it all meant. The movie I'm talking about is The Book of Eli, and it came out many, many years ago. As a matter of fact, back in 2020, I have a video where I talk about walking 10 miles a day, and I referenced Denzel Washington in this movie. But now I'm starting to understand that with practice on walking and talking and delivering a message that might help people, I'm on a similar journey. My message is getting just a little bit more refined, a little bit more crisp every single day. And I'm able to speak about that while I'm walking. No matter what challenges present themselves in my way. It's back to those connections that I made yesterday with Emily and Jody in the morning. When you start to share things about yourself, when you allow yourself to be a bit more vulnerable, people feel more comfortable to share their experiences, and you find out how similar you really are. You really share your uniqueness. You have your separate, but your similarities really begin to show. Your values really begin to show. my greatest interest is forming a community of people that are like-minded, people that don't feel left out. I shared my story of sobriety, and it allowed one of the other group members to share their story of sobriety, as well as the reason why. She was actually taking notes, which I thought was really cool. Like, someone was that interested in what I had to say to take notes and then reflect and say, wow, these are some of the same concepts that I thought this many years ago. A lot of times we just feel alone. We feel like no one else is going through or has experienced what we're experiencing. And if there was just a place where you could go and talk to people and find out it's okay that you're going through this experience, I think that it would help a lot more people process things better than any medication ever could. If you're familiar with the placebo effect, I feel like that's the utility of a lot of these drugs. Who knows if they really work or not. I was at an event just before this one where I was having allergy issues because of the air conditioning and dry sinuses. And I thought maybe I was catching a cold. I was taking Dayquil throughout the week. It's taxing on your body when you travel for work because you're going through all of these enclosed spaces with all of these people from different areas. And you just never know if people are sick, if their hygiene is good, if they actually wash their hands. You see people use the bathroom and just walk right out the door. So you gotta figure some of these surfaces you touch, some of these spaces you share with other people in a small tube flying through the air are probably covered in bacteria. I'm not worried about that so much. I mean, for the last 20 years, I've went into people's houses or maybe they were sick or their kids were sick or whatever. So my immune system it's like Superman. I think my kryptonite would be like someone sneezing on me in my face. But aside from that, once I'm over that virus, then I'm good. But I took that allergy pill and I felt immediate relief. Now, I know nothing works that quickly. They could say fast acting all they want in the box, but it was almost like the symptoms of what I was feeling just completely went away instantly. And I'm thinking, wow. I even told the lady that gave me the allergy pill, wow, that worked so quickly. And reflecting on that now, I realize that is a bit of the placebo effect. And there's no possible way that drug could have worked that quickly. There's no way. Like, reflecting with other people is a way that you can get past your experiences and move on. And while it's cool to lean on other people, make sure that you're giving as well. Make sure that you check on other people so that they can reflect with you. And it's not always a take. I know that it can be overwhelming to be going through something. Trust me. The struggle of paying your bills. Maybe your boss is a jerk. And the list goes on and on. Life can be tough. But I think you have a story and a message to share. I have a story and a message to share. I now I am seeing, like, every day, every single day, I'm so fascinated by the amount of people that are tuning into this channel, because just yesterday was 28 days. So 29 days ago, I started being consistent. I started showing up daily for this. And while I speak about consistency with walking, I just didn't know how powerful it was to be consistent with posting, with showing up. I mean, I knew, but I didn't realize it until now with this platform. 2 days ago, I had 61 or 62 hours of watch time, which is the most that I've ever had in a day. And I mentioned in another video where I had just passed the 500 subscriber mark, and my friend Chad made a comment that said, one day you're going to be experiencing 4,000 watch hours a day and 1,000 new subscribers each day. Man, that made me think. It really made me think. I was like, I bet he's going through that right now. It's a good problem to have. That's why we're producing content, for people to watch it and for people to hopefully get something good out of it that they can use to apply to their life and hopefully make things a little bit easier. But I was thinking about that, and along the way, you have to start at 0, right? And then maybe you get 1 or 2. But I was looking at the full spectrum from 365 days. And the majority of the line is flat. It doesn't go jagged like that until the last 29 days. But the growth is unreal. I can actually see this channel getting monetized by my birthday, December 15th of this year. I can see it. I could not see that light at the end of the tunnel. That reminds me of this tunnel that I went through when I was in Idaho with my wife's family. We were out on side-by-sides driving through the forest. And I wish I remember I think it's, don't butcher me if I get this wrong, but I think it's the Hiawatha Trail. And there's these school buses that go down this trail, and it's really windy. But you get to a point where there's this long tunnel, and it's just enough for one. If it's a school bus, it's just enough for that school bus to pass through one way in either direction. And I feel like Dale Earnhardt is driving these school buses, because if you're walking or driving up these hills or driving through that tunnel, and one of those school buses are coming around the corner, I feel like you're likely to get squashed like you're in Mario Kart. But this tunnel, when you go into it, it's so long that you literally cannot see the light at the other side. So if you don't have your lights on, or the vehicle that's coming at you doesn't have their lights on, sorry, there's just a lot of cars passing by. The vehicles that's coming at you doesn't have their lights on, it's pitch black in there. And once you do see that light at the end of the tunnel, you know that there is an end, and you're not just driving directly into the mountain, going to Batman's lair. You're going to pop out on the other side, okay? And that's the light I see at the end of this YouTube journey. Right now I'm in the dark part of the tunnel. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I have learned to embrace the dark. It was very mysterious before. What's going on at 3 o'clock in the morning outside? Whole lot of nothing. But that's my journey with YouTube. Right now I'm in that dark part of the tunnel. And I know eventually I'm going to make a bit of a sweeping left turn and I'll see that light at the end. But I really do feel like that's going to be on my birthday. There's just something, this strange feeling I have where I see these hours compounding. These videos are deposits into the YouTube bank. And kind of look at it like a REIT. I don't know if you know how REITs work. A real estate investment trust, or a corporation buys properties that are for rent. And based on the returns, I guess based on the rents for those properties, that's how they generate the returns. So sometimes the returns start off maybe at 6 or 7%. And then once the building is fully occupied, they might jump up to 15 or 20%, depending on the REIT. And that's how I feel with my consistency on this channel. It's like, oh, okay, the percentages are going up. I'm looking at 4,000 watch hours, like on a flat line. Like 4,000 people need to watch an hour of my content. The power of this platform is it's worldwide. Over almost 3 billion active monthly users. If I can't get 4,000 watch hours when there's that many eyeballs watching YouTube, then I probably shouldn't be on YouTube, but I can see it actually happening. Like, I know it's going to happen now, and I know it's going to happen quicker than I think because I'm putting the time and effort in. You know, I mentioned also yesterday, I'm not for everybody. I'm just not. I can accept that. There's power in accepting that. There's so many people here that you can seek out. People that have the right, or not necessarily the right, but similar ideas and values as you. And you don't have to stay in a group that isn't serving you. You don't have to do that. Those people are out there. That's what I found when I was having that conversation yesterday. I found similarities in strangers that I just met at the beginning of the week. And had I not been able to have that conversation for a few hours and we all just kind of reflected on our different stories, never would have known. Never would have known. We would have just been single serving friends, moving past. Instead, we were able to exchange information and connect in the future. But knowing I'm not for everybody, it feels good, you know? I know there's people that are, you know, light years ahead of me. And I think that's great. And those are the people I like to learn from. And I do. I found a few really cool people on YouTube. And that's like primarily what I've been consuming is YouTube. Because I love to see people's creativity. Like these big movie studios, they have enough money and attention. And supporting smaller creators is great, like, because a lot of times it's these creators collectively that put together these massive films. I mean, without us working toward a common goal, there's no way these Marvel films could get made. You know, the avatars, you know, just making billions of dollars, selling billions of tickets. Without the creators, the artists, the guys working on set. I mean, there's so many people. When you look at the credits, look at all those people just for one movie. And if it's animated, you got thousands of people working, drawing, displaying their creativity. You know, voice actors, it just goes so deep. It goes so deep, but it doesn't happen without single creators coming together and being able to witness other people's messages on this platform has just been nothing short of amazing. Being able to witness other people's stories that aren't creators has been nothing short of amazing. It's helping me find my voice here. It's helping me to be able to push forward a message that I thought was inside, but now I know for certain. The progression is day by day. I'm out here walking, talking to you. As little edits as possible. Because I want the full experience for you. I want you to see that people do make mistakes and people do jumble over or stumble over their words. Just like that. But it's okay. Like I'm not striving for perfection anymore. I'm just striving to be the best version of me that I can be. Not the best version that society says I should be, but the best version that I can be myself. It is chilly out here. Like you don't really realize it until you get going and the wind is hitting you in the face. And that cold air. And you get the sniffles. I got the sniffles right now. But this is all part of it. This was one of the things that I prepared for this year. I've got gloves and a little neck warmer in my fanny pack that I carry with me everywhere now so I can stick my camera in there once I'm done filming. It's about preparation nowadays. I got these wool base layers that are keeping me warm out here. I mean, I think I'm warm. Who knows? Kind of feel like I'm in an ice bath a bit. My hands. But it's all right. I know it'll eventually warm up or this walk will eventually be done. So I push on. Being able to walk through this life is so precious. It's such a blessing. Every day when I wake up, I think about the people that didn't. The people that were ready to go and the people that weren't ready to go, but it was just their time. At some point, the egg timer of our life is going to go off. How are you going to look back? Or what are you going to look back on? You're going to look back on a life filled with experiences? Or are you going to look back on a life filled with excuses? We all have the opportunity to produce either one, experiences or excuses. But it's necessary to make a choice, a decision. I mean, decision. Take the word choice out of your vocabulary if you're working toward a goal. It's got to be a decision. There's an individual I watch here on YouTube. His name is Myron Golden. And he defines a decision as cutting off all other options. So I said, I'm going to do this every day. That means I cut off the option of not doing it every day. The environment may change. I may be inside because it's raining and cold, or it's snowing, but I'm still getting the activity done. I cannot believe who I see in the mirror every day. And it's only been a little over 5 months. I imagine what kind of change can happen in a year. I know what kind of change can happen in a year. It's been a year and a half in a few days since I began my journey of sobriety. A year and a half, just like that. This time is going to pass, whether you do something great for yourself or not. Like, it's gonna pass. And I'm just like sick of looking back. People say they don't regret stuff. They're lying. They're just lying, man. I have a lot of regret when it comes to not getting on a journey of self-improvement sooner. And that's okay. Like, it's cool. Because look, I'm on that journey right now. 164 days deep. I'm so proud of myself. I give myself the space to share my emotions with myself and not just push them down so much anymore. This is what it looks like when you truly don't care what people think, man. That part of my life is done. You don't have to be in a shell. Like, you can share with people how you feel. And if they shun you or banish you for it, they're not your people. You don't have to work hard at hanging on to relationships that don't serve you. You just don't have to. There's so many people out there. And that's what I was touching on with the 4,000 watch hours, with the subscribers. There's so many people out there that likely share my same ideas. And I see it every day through comments. You know, people that are relatable with what I'm saying. You know, this message is soaking into their sponge. I say, man, this is exactly the path I'm on, the journey I'm on. This is exactly what I'm going through. I love to be a voice for that group, man. I love that. I love for them to be able to see someone else that's doing the same thing so they don't feel alienated because everyone else is too scared to do something for themselves. When you meet the best version of me, you will not believe your eyes. I will be speaking from stages. And this stage YouTube. This is a stage. This is a platform where I have access to billions of people. I believe that I have the power to change the world. I believe that I have a message that can change the world. It is absolutely possible. But I've just got to keep showing up. Like, there's no scenario where I don't show up and it happens. And looking at 4,000 hours through that set of glasses, it seems like it'll never happen. But now that I got LASIK for my vision, now I can see what's really possible with consistency. I can see it. I know. I'm not just speculating anymore. I can see what's possible. I can see myself standing at the top of that mountain. Which, by the way, I'm going to be knocking out some hikes. Probably this week. I'm going to change the scenery up for you guys. You know, the ones that are glued to this channel. I'm going to give you some nice mountain views. You're going to get some nice sun on the horizon views. See the beauty of the desert, the colors in the sky, and the blessing that I get to experience every single morning, seeing the sun come up and starting my day. This video today was a bit all over the place, but it's okay because it's my channel. And if the message doesn't work for you, I don't know what the number is right now, but there's a lot of other channels. My only interest is building a community of people that are like-minded, that are working on themselves, that will not take no for an answer from themselves anymore. No matter the weather, no matter their circumstances, and no matter who surrounds them, what type of influence they have on them. If they have an answer to the question, their hand is up first. They're not waiting to see what everybody else does. They're willing to stand out and be different. Because we are not here forever. Our time is finite. And the greatest gift is we don't know when it ends. I think that's the greatest gift. If you realize it. And if you put the work in while you're here to help serve someone else other than yourself. That's what I'm doing right now with these walks. I could be selfish and keep this to myself. I could go in the oven in June and pop out June of next year with the perfect physique and a much stronger mind and body and not show you the process. No one else is doing this on YouTube, man. Nobody's doing this. Nobody's showing you the difficult days. They're just not doing it. I get people that pop up and say, I'm doing exactly the same thing as you, in a negative tone. It's just like, well, then why don't you share it with the world? Why are you being so selfish? There's other people that need to see this. They need to see that when it's cold, someone still puts their shoes on and gets outside. As simple as it is. People need to see that other people can be disciplined and they can do the same thing as someone else. I'm not special and I'm not trying to say that I am. I just woke up. And not woke in the sense of what they say right now. I'm talking about I woke up, was able to clear myself from the fog of alcohol and marijuana and actually see clearly, see a clear path instead of the fog that I experienced yesterday in Dallas. Got another siren. We'll see how Adobe Podcast handles this. But just remember, if you're on a journey, there are other people out there that are doing the same thing. Don't think you're alone. Know that you can make it out the other side of that tunnel if you just keep pushing. And it's just one day at a time. One day at a time. I cannot stress that enough. It is one day at a time. If you have a tough day, just remember tomorrow can be the greatest day that you've ever experienced. But you can't get to tomorrow until you go through today. Difficult or not, it doesn't matter. I look at the events that I go to and sometimes they're tough. Sometimes the people are rude or mean. That doesn't mean that's going to be my experience every single time. This last event started off crazy. I got there, I didn't have a room. And it happened at the event previous, where the Wi-Fi was down at the hotel and I didn't have a room for 3.5 hours after flying all the way across country. We don't have control over the experiences that present themselves in our lives, but we do have control about how we react to them. Know that you're powerful enough to react to a bad situation positively and turn the whole thing around. You have that power. I have that power. And that's what I'm doing every single day. So, thermostat today said 37 degrees when I left. And like I said, I got that neck warmer and some gloves in my bag. So, I want you to comment the number 38 and know that I'm out here walking in the cold, delivering a message that will help somebody on their journey. Someone with billions of people, someone is having the exact same thoughts that I'm having this somewhere else in the world. Could be a few streets over, or it could be on the other side of the planet. And I hope this message reaches that person or those people, and that they get up and get out and do something great for themselves. I'm Brandon Alexander, and until tomorrow, go out there and do something great for yourself.